Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with a recap and review of Tyler Perry's comedy drama Sisters Season 6, Episode 18 from the Blind Side. And I guess everybody was getting blindsided, wasn't they? So I'm not going to go in order for this one, okay? But I'm going to start with the least important scene and go higher, higher to the juiciest scene of the episode, okay? So the least important part was Calvin and Maurice. Calvin is trying to get Maurice to go out. Maurice was going to go out, but Calvin thinks he needs to meet a nice guy. And Maurice, of course, wants to meet a roughneck or something like that. And Calvin is trying to warn him. Didn't he learn from what happened before? And he's like, I'm not going to let one bad apple spoil it for everybody. And, I'm going to go back out there. And, Maurice, hard-headed, just want to listen. You don't want to listen. You know what I mean? So Calvin's getting excited, said, you know what? I'm going to find you somebody good. We're going to go out and stuff. And he's like, Maurice is like, I'm going to a bar. And he said, what difference does that make? And he said, you're right. So Calvin's going with him and he's going to help him to find a good guy that, it's not trouble, because it's what it seems like Maurice always gets himself into with these one night stands or whatever he's doing. He started talking about his penis and stuff like that. And I just was like, okay, we didn't even need this scene. Next, we have this scene with Karen and the contractor. I forgot his name on this, right? But I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a homeowner. Many of y'all are homeowners. Do your contractors make house visits with estimates and stuff, or do they email them to you, or call you and tell you they have them, or text it to you, or send it in the mail, or scan it, or something? When do they come up to your house and say, yes, I hope you don't mind, can I come in? Yeah, I got those estimates for you. No, they don't do that. They make an appointment. This man is just showing up. It didn't even look like Karen knew he was supposed to be there. So I got a little confused when the guy sits down. He gives her the estimate and she's like, dang, this is expensive. This is a lot. And he's like, no, that's the best numbers in town. You can even call other contractors. I'm sure we did it. He didn't say he was the one. He said him and his son. So he didn't say that he had a business. I didn't think he did doing this work, but maybe he did, and I just misunderstood that last episode when he was in it. But one of the parts that got me is him saying how she's a pretty young lady, this pretty young lady, beautiful. I don't know if he's a beautiful single mother. We got to help her. We got to do this. And I'm sitting there going, why are he talking about how pretty she is and all of this stuff? And I knew something was going to happen when that episode, when they were at the salon and Pam said she wanted Karen to go home because she thought the guy might like her. When has Pam ever felt inferior to Karen, like she couldn't pull a man? And that's why I was like, why do they have Pam saying that? Because Pam now never care. She smile up in anybody's face. She was very sure of who she was as a person and her beauty, it seems. So I was just thrown off about that. But now the way he was sitting there, and he seemed like he was smiling a little bit too much. It didn't seem like he was married and had 7 kids when I was looking at him. You know what I mean? It just, something was off. I don't know what it is, but something was off there for me. But then what threw me also is Karen saying it was a lot. And then he said, well, talk to your insurance company. She said, I don't have insurance. He said, so how are we going to pay for the work? And she go, I got the money. So now you saying you got the money, but you saying it's a lot. And then when you call Pam to find out, you tell Pam, oh, it was a good price. I'm confused. What was going on here? And then for her to send Pam to the store to get all this stuff, and Pam is like, Pam's so silly with her stuff. Like I'm the maid now. What am I now? Got me running these damn errands like I'm Celie. You know what, Celie from The Color Purple. And she's like, what are you doing? And then she started talking about she wants to, I think Karen don't have the money and she's going to need to make some money because they said it's going to take 5 months to do the repairs. So even Pam is like, what am I doing that time? I need some money and stuff. So Karen's thinking about working out of her apartment, but she forgetting all them chemicals, smell and all that stuff. And she's on the first floor. So everybody coming in the building is going to be smelling those chemicals. They going to smell them and they're going to start complaining to the landlord. She going to have to get permission from the landlord to do that, you know. And Pam then mentions all these chemicals she's going to be using and how she's going to need to have fans or something blown. And Pam, or Karen said mentioned the fans or something like that. But she said, because you got to be careful, especially with her being pregnant. You can't have all those chemicals in your space or something. You're going to have to be airing out. She said, we can open the windows and put in some fans. And I don't know what Karen is thinking and why she's thinking of doing that. But that's a dangerous combination because I was with Pam. You want all them damn people coming up in your house. You want them to know where you live or what you do. You don't want them in there. You shouldn't want them in there. And she's telling her to call Aaron to get help. No, I'm not going to do that because then he think we're going to start something up. I said, I hope Pam calls Aaron. Pam needs to call Aaron or something. And then Pam goes, well, call Zach. She's like, no, 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 I'm not going to do that. But see, it was a different no when she said it. When she said call Aaron, it was like, oh no, because then he going to think something. Zach is like, oh no, no, can't do that. But she really wants to, and Pam is like, whatever, girl, whatever. So anyway, it seems like that's something she's going to try to do. And Pam is down to work part-time. And Karen asked her to call her clients and see how many of them are willing to come here and get their hair done. And Pam is right. A black woman to go hell and high water to get her hair done. She will go where she have to. So next we have Fatima and Zack. They're in the car. And I'm not sure how they got there because the last thing we saw last week, they were going to have dinner and they weren't going to go out there. But they're in the car sitting outside in front of Heather's apartment. And Fatima's talking about let's go in there and get him. And Zach still's like, no, we're not doing that. He asked her to call that attorney. And he said that they have an appointment tomorrow morning to meet, with the judge about getting, temporary custody of his son. And so Fatima seemed to be happy about that. Zach is like, what does that mean? And Fatima's like, she's not sure, but we'll see. Because Zach wanted to be able to see his son in the morning. Will I be able to see him? Fatima was like, I don't know. So she said, do you want to go upstairs and just check on him? And he said, you don't mind? She's like, yeah, let's go and just check on him. So they get out the car and who comes out but the nosy neighbor? Nosy neighbor tells them that they not there. They ain't been there all day. And Fatima's asking, where did they go? She said, I don't know, hopefully to the hospital. They like the hospital? Yeah, he was out there crying and limping all day. So I pray that they took him to the hospital. And they're like, oh my goodness, So she's like, why y'all asking me questions like that? I ain't no nosy neighbor. She said, yes, I am. Ain't nothing else around here to do. I was like, Lord. I said, okay. But she's letting them know, what she know or what she's seen so far. So they're thanking her, and Zach gives her a wad of money to thank her for, just for helping and looking out and stuff for his son. And she tries to get insulted about it. Who do you think I am? I ain't do this for no money. I did this for this child. You're up there offering me money, insulting me, and da 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 da. And Fatima and Zach are like, we're sorry, we're sorry. And she's like, he meant no disrespect. He's just trying to thank her. She's like, what you saying? You thinking, acting like I need that money? I don't need y'all money. Got my own money. She doing all of that. And then when they getting in the car, after they had to beg for her forgiveness, they getting in the car, and she gonna have them turn around and say, she go, wait a minute. Well, she said you didn't mean no harm, and he said he's sorry. She said, I could use some money. Okay, you knew you wanted that money, lady. You knew that you wanted that money. I would have took the daggone money too, even if those was a wad of singles. I would have taken that money. Look, I spend my time looking out for y'all kid anyway, but she was looking out for that boy anyway from before even knowing who they were. So she has a good heart. But why she tried to act like it was beneath her to take that money is beside me. You wouldn't have had to say it twice to me. I would have said, well, I guess I'll be going on a vacation with this money. Anyway, they get in the car and go to the hospital. They figured she don't have insurance, so they went to county hospital, whatever. Nothing. They don't see no Michael there. They're sitting in the car talking. Zach is like feeling bad. He said one freaking mistake. One time I slept with her one time, and Fatima's like, that's all it takes is one time. And he said, now I'm up here looking for my child. Don't know where he is. That's my flesh and blood, you know. And then Fatima decides to tell a story. Now we all thought she was gonna tell a story because let me go back. He said, you know, I made one mistake. She's like, you're not the only. He said, you don't make mistakes like that. She said, I made a mistake like that. I've done it. She said, it's something that happened and I never talk about it. And she told the story about her childhood, something that happened when she was 17. We all thought she was going to talk about Ian and the abortion. And I'm like, I want to ask y'all in the comment section, do anybody know if she ever told Zach about the abortion? Somebody said she told Andy about it, but I don't know about Zach. I don't recall her telling anybody about it other than maybe Angela. So she tells him, you know, my parents were strict and, you know, they told me to keep away from this guy that was no good. And I didn't listen and I ended up getting pregnant, but I didn't say anything. And then the gym teacher, I was in gym and the gym teacher told them, my mother, that she needed to take me to the doctor. And I went to the doctor, I ended up finding out I was pregnant. And Zach is like, well, what happened after that? She said she lost the baby. So I don't know if it's that they trying to say because she was out there playing gym and running around that she lost the baby. I don't know what they're saying, but that's what supposedly happened. So that was interesting to learn something else about her childhood. But at what point was she being, I thought, raised by her grandmother or something in the family? I'm just so confused about the timeline. But anyway, that was that scene. And, you know, they decided they're going to go home and they'll go to, you know, court in the morning. Now let's get to the barbecue where what's his name? I was about to say Zach. Gary fumbled his way out of trying to explain to Andy, Danny, and Sabrina how he knows Jordan. And Andy's just staring there looking at him because first he said, have we met before? And she's like, yes, we've met before. Have we met before? Yes, we have met before. And I'm sitting there going, why don't you say something other than that? And you're staring at him. You're just staring at Gary. Like, I would have been freaking out thinking, are you following me? I would have been up there, are you stalking me? Are you following me? Because when Jordan said, is something going on? What's going on? And Andy doesn't say anything. What if he was stalking you? You're sitting there silent and quiet and not saying anything. And that's before you even knew about Penelope, you know. And for Danny and Sabrina to come over there and say, hey Gary, what's going on? How you doing? Long time no see, and all of this stuff. And Jordan's standing there confused, like, am I missing something? Why wouldn't Andy say anything? It just seems so dumb at that point. But I gotta tell y'all, I was all the way with Danny with this stuff. And if Karen was in there, Karen would have been down with Danny probably too. Because if it wasn't for Karen, if it wasn't for Karen, what's her name? Andy probably would have married Gary. Remember he did the whole fake thing? So at that point when he was trying to marry Andy, he already had Penelope pregnant and was engaged to her. Think about it, y'all. Think about it. Put your comments down in the comment section what you feel about this. Because this is ridiculous. Gary is a piece of work. And Penelope needs to know. So Gary's trying his best to get out of there. He's in the backyard trying to leave. Oh, I'm going to leave. I'm going to get out of here. Then I got to make a phone call. I need to make a phone call first and stuff. And then I'll get right back. You know what? I'll leave, go do some work and come back. All of this he's going through. And he's mumbling his way out of trying to get out of it. And then Penelope walks in. And he's in the backyard on a phone call. Penelope's like, hey, and they say, hey, y'all, this is my baby sister, Penelope. And, the guys are like, hey, Penny, blah, 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 and the ladies, and Andy, Danny, and Sabrina say hello to her. And she's like, where's Gary? And they're looking at each other now. The girls are looking at each other. Where's Gary? She's saying, where's Gary? Oh, he's in the back out there and all this stuff. And so Danny goes, congratulations on the pregnancy. And she's like, oh, thanks. It's our first. And I was surprised Andy opened his mouth, her mouth. I thought it was going to be Sabrina, but Andy said, who's first? You're You said our first. Who? Oh, mine and Gary. I thought I was going to hit the floor. I said, oh my God, I'm waiting for Danny to just die right now. Not Danny, I'm sorry, Andy to just die right now. And she didn't even know what to say. She didn't even know what to say. But when Gary came, baby Gary, as Sabrina was like, go ahead, baby Gary, there's baby Gary there. She kissing him, and you need a little snuggle, and they rubbing their nose together. They've been together 3 years. He was still married to Jasmine in that time. He was married to Jasmine. He was with this one, and he was with Andy. How? Tyler Perry, make it make sense. How was Gary able to do that and work his ding-a-ling-a-ling on all three of those women and keep them, I mean, separate lives everywhere, you know? And this poor girl is loving him. And it was so funny, though, the part when she was saying, oh, yeah, he got me a high apartment and a car. And they were like, they looked at Andy. Andy didn't know what to do. And Danny goes, oh, what do you have, a Rolls Royce? She said, oh, no. That's not me. I'm not that type of person. I just think it's ridiculous for somebody to drive around in something like that when there's so many people out here can't handle it. So, and I was like, that was a slap in Andy's face in her bougie self. That was a slap in her face. Here she is, like I said, got them flowers from Jordan. Didn't even call him to thank him for them. But she mad because he don't text her. I don't know what upbringing she had, but I don't know how she thinks she was deserving of all this special treatment that she gets. But anyway, this girl was like, no, I'm more like, Penelope was like, I'm more like, like laid back. I don't believe in that. I'm not with the pomp and circumstance, basically, I guess. But it was so funny. And Danny was like, she was ready because she was like, it's brewing. She went out there, called, what's his name? Called Gary in, and all the guys came in and they want to talk and everything else. And then Penelope is like, oh, that's Andy. Oh, I want to know everything about you. My brother doesn't get excited about a lot of stuff, but I could tell in his voice that he really likes you and stuff. So she was like, let's get the ladies go sit over there and catch up and meet each other or something like that. And you guys go over there. And Gary was trying to get out of there. Penelope's like, we are not leaving. You're always traveling. You're always going. So that's what he does. He lies to Penelope and say he's traveling when he's over there at Andy's house. At Andy's house. It's unbelievable, the dog that Gary is. That's right. DOGGG. And that was 3 G's because I just felt like putting an extra one on. So anyway, it ends with Penelope stepping away, and that's when Andy wants to grab their pocketbooks and everybody run and leave. Not say bye or anything. She's like, I can't do this. I can't do this. She's like, that girl is so happy. The woman is so happy. Look at her, and she's so pregnant. I cannot tell her. And she's like, I can't do that to another black woman or something like that. And Andy said, that's why she should know. I mean, Danny said, that's why she should know. That is important. She said, I don't know what y'all heard, but I heard him using another 2 black women, using y'all. And you're going to sit there and let her go on thinking before she dropped that baby that she got this great man and not knowing the truth. And Danny was absolutely right. I don't know what Sabrina and Andy are thinking. Yeah, it might hurt her. It might hurt her with her stomach, being pregnant and knowing that her man is a dog or whatever. But it's going to hurt her even more to know that you were sitting in her face and you didn't say a mumbling word. She going to think less of you in the long run. That's what I would be thinking. I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me to warn me and save me? So Andy's trying to run out the door. And Danny is like, no, I'm about to blow this mother up. I'm going to blow this spot up right now. She's like, so you decide whether you tell her or I tell her. But that woman over there deserves to know before she brings his godforsaken child into this world. And that's when the girl walks over in her and said, what? What's going on here? And that's how it went off, y'all. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now. Hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell. It'll let you know every time I upload a new video or any content. Then I ask that you Hit that like button, which is the thumbs up button. Write a comment and share. Why? Because sharing is caring. It's your girl Barbie J saying, see you in the next video. Peace.